survey, my research topic for my project was, would getting rid of DACA be in the best interest for our country? DACA was introduced by Barack Obama in 2012. It is a program which protects those who were brought to this country at a very young age without being the choice to be brought in or not. It gives them an opportunity for employment as well as for education. So for them to be able to get a job and go to school legally. Since the beginning of Trump's presidency, he has had plans to remove DACA, and so that would mean having to deport all those young adults who are being protected by DACA. There are two sides to this argument. Some are for getting rid of it and others are for keeping it. Those who are for getting rid of it claim that it takes opportunities from citizens of the United States, such as education and employment opportunities. Another reason for why they want to get rid of it is because they believe that they should not be pardoned for breaking the law and to begin with by coming into the United States illegally. So they believe that it creates criminals as well. Those who are for keeping it believe that there's misunderstandings as to dreamers. Dreamers are those who are protected by DACA. They believe that there's misunderstandings in which they are taking opportunities, such as for education, they are not being paid for their education is not being paid for. It's actually more expensive for them. They are required to pay out-of-state tuition, unlike most of us who receive financial aid as well as having to pay regular tuition. They also, those who are for keeping it also say that there are requirements that must be met. Therefore, it would eliminate any criminals or it wouldn't allow any criminals to be in the United States legally because they have to have a clean record in order to qualify for the program. My side in this argument is that DACA should not be abolished because these young adults who are now being protected by DACA were brought to the United States at a very young age with no choice of being here, and so now it's all they know. And deporting them would be immoral because they would have to go back to a country they know nothing of, as well as because I don't think that they are criminals for coming into this country, as well as mainly because there's requirements that are expected of them to be good citizens.
Hi, my name is Melissa Miranda, and today I'm going to be talking about my essay project number 2. My question is, should college tuition be free for everyone in the United States? And this idea was introduced by Bernie Sanders in 2016. And then many Democrats followed up with the same idea and they started creating ideas of their own. I'm going to be talking about 2 different arguments or 2 opposing views, which is argument A, Democrats, and argument B, which is Republicans. Democrats, they agree with this idea because they want to spend more money on the students since they're the future they're the future. And Bernie Sanders wants to base this idea on the European system and other countries who have free college. And he says that if, for example, Germany could do free college and free education for everyone, then why can't the United States do it too? And then for my second argument, it would be the Republicans, which is the opposing side. And they're saying that they disagree with this idea and it would create an inflation. And then they're asking where would the Democrats get this type of money to pay for everyone for college, since the United States is already in debt with many countries. This would just cause more debt to the United States. And for me, for my thesis, is that I agree with Republicans. Even though I'm a college student myself and I can relate that's really expensive, I feel that the government would have more control over us.
Hi, my name is Isabella Isabella Moreno, and for my multi-draft project number 2, the research topic that I will be discussing is, should all Americans be entitled to free healthcare? Now, like with any argument, there are two sides to the story. People who support free healthcare and people who do not support free healthcare. For the people who support healthcare, the main person that advocates it is Bernie Sanders. His opinion is that everyone is entitled to being healthy and everyone should be healthy. And in his Medicare for All Act, he believes that there will be no copays and no deductibles, and then there's the rise to the question is, how are we going to pay for this free healthcare? Now, what Bernie Sanders believes is that everyone is going to pay taxes no matter how much they make. So middle class, rich people, everyone's going to be paying taxes. And that's basically like the people who support main free healthcare. Now, to the other side of the argument, the people who do not support free healthcare, the reasons that they give this is because they don't want excessive taxes, because the United States is already in a great amount of debt, and if we were to support the Medicare for All Act, we would just be adding more and more to our debt, which is already like a lot of money. Another reason that they don't support free healthcare is that it will lower the quality care. Because if you think about it, if we were to have free healthcare, there would be no incentive for doctors to work because they would get paid less, and now medical students that would want to become doctors would not want to be doctors anymore because their salaries would be less. And the last reason that they give is that if we were to have free healthcare, most health insurances would go out of business, because what Bernie Sanders says is that if we were to have free healthcare, it would eliminate all private insurance companies. And lastly, where's my point or like my take on this argument? I am on the side where I believe that we should not have free healthcare, and I agree with their reasons, but mostly because taxes, it would just be a lot for everyone to pay, and I think that we should just leave healthcare the way it is now, because I think it's fine the way it is, and if we were to change it now, it would cause a lot of problems in our future. Thank you for listening.